hard. So 30 was hard, 31 was medium, and now this is hard again. So let's see how my brain can handle all of this in 24 hours. So number 32 is the longest valid parentheses. So given a string containing just the characters parenthesis and parenthesis, return the length of the longest valid well-formed parentheses substring. So the longest valid parentheses substring is here, 1, 2 out of these 3. And then here it's closed. It's just basically how many closed parentheses. I feel like this is pretty straightforward, given the constraints, given everything else. I don't really know how I want to approach this. I feel like I can do this one of 2 ways, and I'm trying to think of ways that are going to use less runtime and less memory, because that's kind of been my goal, is to hit 50-50 on all of it. So my instinct here would be to use like dynamic programming, but I'm thinking maybe brute force is going to get me to where I want to be faster. And you guys can see I haven't submitted anything for this yet. So let's give brute force a try, because I think that's going to be the path of least resistance. So I think first we should check if something is valid, or I guess, yeah, we should check if the input S is valid. And then we should do something to put it into a list. So I really think iterating through all the possible substrings of even length, starting from each character, is probably going to be the best approach here. So let's do an isValid function to check if there are valid parentheses in that substring. And if something is valid, then we can update that accordingly. So let's say def is valid. And then we use S, right? Let's put it here. And then, so let's say for characters in S, if character is an left open parenthesis, then we should stack append. Because yeah, that makes sense. That I feel good with that. And then I think maybe elif and else. So like we need it to make sure we can also return false. So I do want to do elif. Let's say elif stack and stack -1 for that right parenthesis. Then we're going to say stack pop. It pops it from that stack. Else, we're going to return false. And that's that feels good. So then we'll just say return the length of the stack. It's 0. So I guess now at this point, if it is valid, we want to update that max length variable with the maximum length that we've found so far. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's say max length is equal to 0. Oops, 0. And then n is equal to length of s. This feels pretty straightforward. So we're going to say for I in range n, for j in range, and then for this we're going to do I plus 2 n plus 1 and then 2. If is valid, for s, I, j, max length then becomes the max of the max length. That way we have the most updated max length, j minus I. And then we just need to return the max length. Does that make sense? Yeah, because we want to update the max length. We're using some nested loops. And is valid. Let me just read through this one more time. So given a string containing just the characters parenthesis and parenthesis, return the length of the longest valid well-formed parenthesis substring. Okay, so this should do that, and this should be the most efficient solution for a larger input. Like if there were, at least 5 more of these, this would be able to understand and count, because it's not going to count the ones that start over here, the ones that face right. They're counting the ones that face, or I guess they're open to the, this is confusing. I'm just going to say left and right, like that. This is my left. We're not counting the right ones that are open with their curve to the right. We're starting by counting the ones that are open with their curve to the left. So going through and kind of iterating this stuff, I think this all makes sense. And then if there's none, obviously that's going to return 0. So let's run it and make sure I don't have any spelling errors, because I keep having spelling errors. Oh my gosh. I said return the max length. That's because I literally said that out loud, you guys. That's also, I just grabbed my, I got it. I just grabbed my Uptime. This is not a paid product sponsorship. This is just my caffeine that I drink, and being just shy of 9 a.m., I have not had a time to christen this bottle yet, but I am glad to see that that's accepted. Runtime is 27 milliseconds, so we'll see if this hits the 50% mark. I don't think it will. Don't be an internal error for real. Yeah, time limit exceeded. Okay, so we'll just reconfigure this a little bit. This is a huge input. So I need to figure out how to refine this for both runtime and memory. Attempted. It always makes me self-conscious. God. Let's add that to our use case. So when we practice this again, we can run it. I wish that they had them. Oh, yeah. Ooh. Ugh. Okay, all right. So it gave me the expected value, but it didn't really give me the time that I wanted. So let's. What do you guys think? So I'm starting to think brute force was a bad option. Because I don't know how to make this run any faster, especially in some of these. Like, this is huge. So what I'm thinking of right now in terms of dynamic programming, is we initialize a DP array, like right off in the beginning, and then we iterate through a string, and update that array, and then we do the same thing like with the max length. We'd still keep this, and we'd still keep some of this, I think. I just I'm not quite sure. I'm a little stumped. Um hmm. Okay, let's try it, but I'm going to try it. I don't want to delete the whole thing. Oh my god. I don't know, you guys. I don't know. Should I just. Okay, so for brute force, I'm trying to think if I should switch or not. And if I can switch, what is that going to look like? I think, okay. I'm trying to have a little kumbaya moment with myself. Because if okay, sorry if I'm being quiet. I'm trying to think of. Okay, we can either do in dynamic programming, we can either do an array, or we could do two variables. I just hit that. um, and the reason I'm saying that is because of memory. Like, I keep running into the issue where if I use arrays, I don't usually get over 50%, and I don't know if it's just because of how I optimize them. I don't know like what the deal is, but um, if I could use two variables to keep track of those counts of open and closed parentheses, then I could iterate through the string twice, once from the left and once from the right. So I could update those counts accordingly, and I think that would make it more memory efficient. But I can't think of a solution in brute force right now that would give me that. So it might be a little bit of a longer code, but I'm hoping it would also improve the runtime of this. Oh, this is so nerve-wracking. I knew that was too easy. Like, because this as a standalone thing would make sense. Should have stuck with my gut. I usually start with dynamic programming. This is why. Okay. I'm about to copy this, you guys. No. Good heavens. Whatever. I'm not about to copy it, actually. Okay. Let's reset. I don't want to look at it. Okay. We're doing it. Rip it off like a Band-Aid. Rip it off like a Band-Aid. So let's try the 2-variable approach. And if that doesn't work, then we'll do the string approach. So we're going to use some of the same things that we used last time. And then we're going to do the max length to 0. And then we're going to do the right and left counts. So the right count or the left count should equal the right count. And we're going to make that equal to 0. So we're going to say left count equals right count, which at this point is equal to 0. So for I in range n, let's start counting like we did before with the how many left parentheses that we find. So if si is what is it called? Parenthesis. This one. Yeah. Then we do left count, I think. Excuse me. And we count it by 1, else the right count is plus. And then let's say if the left count is equal to the right count, then we update that max length the same way we did before with the max. Max. I realize I did that there. So max length. And then let's elif it like we did the last time. Right count is greater than or equal to the left count. And then we say left count like we did up there, right count 0. I'm going to do that here again. So then we're going to say for I in range, and we're going to do the same thing from before, kind of, except we're going to do -1, -1. If si equal the left, then we add the left count. Let me say left count plus 1. Otherwise, right count. I think I literally did this exact same thing in the other one. So if left count. All right, I feel like I'm just saying what's going, like, oh, I got a typo. I feel like I'm just saying what I'm doing. Okay, so essentially what I'm trying to do, like I kind of mentioned before, is I'm using two variables to keep track of the counts of both the open and the closed parentheses. We iterate through each of these strings twice. Once from the left, like I said before, and then once from left to right, and then once from right to left. And then we update the counts accordingly. And I'm hoping this reduces space. Honestly, there's going to be a better way to do this, I know. So what was I saying? Left count, right count. And then we do the same with the max length. And then we're just going to change that to, oops. And then we're going to, I'm following the same structure up here. So if left count is greater than or equal to right count, and left count equals right count equal to 0. So doing it one way and then doing it not one way. How do I do that? So I'm assuming this will work better. Let's run it. I'm sure I have a typo. Okay. So that didn't work. We also didn't get the expected outputs. And actually not entirely sure why. Actually, I know this is going to sound dumb, but I shouldn't have done it this way. I think what it's doing is, yeah, it's not counting certain cases at all. Yeah, it's counting nothing. How do I fix that so it actually... Cool, because it's setting everything to 0. Oh my god. Why am I like this? Nope. Nope. I'm gonna try the array. I had a vision for that in my head with dynamic programming. And I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna run with it. Who cares? Who cares? Why not? And then we have the max length, which at that point is 0. So we're doing the same concepts again here, but I do want to do like an array DP, where DPI represents the length of the longest valid parentheses substring ending at index I. And then I can iterate through a string to update that DP array back based on the rules for those, and then we'll just keep the max length updated. Don't do the way I just did. That was bad. That was bad. So for I in range, and that. So we're gonna say for S I guess I could have kept some of this stuff. Let's keep. Oh, actually, no. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna start here. We're gonna start there. So then we're gonna say if S I. Hear me out. I'm gonna say -1. Is equal to that one. Then we're gonna update that DPI. DPI then is equal to DPI minus 2. If I is greater than or equal to 2, else 0, right? Plus 2. Let's do then an elif I minus DPI minus 1. Yeah. Is greater than 0, and SI minus DPI minus 1. Minus 1, because that'll be for this. Which side? This one. Then we'll say DPI equal DPI minus 1 plus DPI minus 1 minus 2, maybe? I don't think that's going to be right. Maybe, though. Let's say DPI minus DPI minus 1 minus 2 if I minus DPI minus 1. I feel like I made this weird. I did, because I needed to close that. If DPI I minus 1 is greater than or equal to 2, else 0 plus 2. This might not be correct. I think I might have been thinking of multiple things all at once. Like, I think I got a little fuzzy in there, but I'm here for it. Then we're going to do the max length equals max length DPI. N equals len s dp. Okay. Say that. There. Invalid syntax. I don't know why. Why is that wrong? Because we can start with that one. Am I crazy? If for I in range, for SI, I don't see how that's wrong. Okay, so maybe I should reconfigure this. I'm not sure how to reconfigure this. Invalid syntax. Okay. What if I just change it? What if I just flip it? What if I let the intrusive thoughts win? What if I do? What if I let them win? Just want to know. I just want to know. Nah, still invalid syntax. Okay. If. Oh my gosh, you guys. Hold on. It needs to be an if. That needs to be an if. Are you kidding me? Good morning, everyone. Well, okay, so we've acquired these test cases, acquired good results on these test cases. Don't know how because I can't apparently read or spell. Let's submit it. Let's throw another attempt in there. Throw it into a burning ring of fire. Okay. Ooh! That memory, though. 46 is close to 50. All right. I move my big old head. Move it over here. Okay, so we did get it accepted. That's our runtime. Woo! Party hard. Okay. Well, definitely a learning curve. Brute force did not work for me. I don't know if that was even one that technically works. That was just one of my two initial reactions, and because I use dynamic programming all the time, I just figured I would switch it up a bit. But for 33 minutes and 51 seconds, I feel pretty okay with that. And I really love this number right here. That's hot. She's hot. This number not as hot, but pretty close. Anyway, thank you guys so much for dealing with me through 3 different variations of a solution for question number 32. I will post this solution in the GitHub repo. However, if you do want the solution that biffed it, I can put that somewhere else and see if you guys can make it better. Because I would actually love to see if a brute force option could work there for this question. Because clearly it was accepted. It just needed to reduce the runtime. So if someone could figure out that runtime situation, 10 out of 10. I'll get you something. I'll buy you something nice. Just because that would actually really make me feel a lot better about that solution as a whole. But digressing, I'm going to put this code in the GitHub repo for the LeetCode solutions, and that is going to be in the video description down below. So feel free to fork and clone, make it better, make it worse, have fun, learn something new, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for your patience, and ciao.